EOS Linx, the way they're making money is it seems like for the charging itself and plus the advertising that it looks like it has part of it. Is that the way the model is?
That's part of the structure. Yes.
And you guys are just a supplier of the batteries? Are you actually involved in participating in this profit model of the charging and the advertising?
At this point, we're just selling them the MV14 system. It's customized for them, but we're providing that to them.
So they're buying it directly from you. You have nothing to do with that second part of it where they monetize it, basically.
Correct. That's
So,
correct.
That's
so
good.
this
You
is
get
an
paid up
example
front.
of where your commercial capability essentially won you this contract. This is a massive
Ooh,
contract,
that's a good one because
right?
in some of these applications, some of it's 120, 240 on the street, and that's what we're tapping into.
Okay.
But some of the installations are
Uh,
208 three-phase. So that was
NeoVolta would be the
another.
only one that could install in either one without an additional
Correct.
charge in some areas.
Correct. It's a 5-minute settings change.
Right.
Right.
Basically, they're saving if they put in, I'll say this, I know you can't say it, but if they put in a Tesla power wall, then basically now you need a transformer,
At
at
those
least
locations,
currently,
right?
and you
Right.
would need to spend an extra 5 grand, and obviously it's not cost effective anymore to do that if you have to do an extra piece of equipment. So it totally makes sense what you're doing. And are you now heading more towards the commercial end as opposed to the residential end? Is this what you're trying to switch to?
I wouldn't use the word switch. I would say growing our portfolio was always the vision almost from day one is to move into different segments of the market. And that's exactly what we're on track to do. And we've got more of that work ahead of us. And I'm really excited about things we are working on. And hopefully we've got big announcements, I don't know, a year from now.
Who on your team handled the negotiation for these contracts? Like Vitaly and I always had questions about the real, NeoVolta's a really small, nimble company. And so are you dividing your time? Did you personally handle the negotiations for this, or do you have a sales team now?
It's all me. So, and I was very
I love
intimate
it. I love
in the
it.
design. I was very intimate in the design of this kiosk. There's many things in that kiosk that they
Uh-huh.
weren't initially planning on that I assisted with.
Well, let me follow it up. Just to, because we have people watching this who still haven't invested in NeoVolta. Is this company EOS Links too? How big are they? Are they growing massively, or are they just in a couple of states? Like, what is their footprint?
Well, they are growing. They're privately held currently. They may stay that way for a while. So we started rolling out these kiosks,
Mm.
I'll say in the northern Atlanta area. They've rapidly moved into all throughout the state of Tennessee. They're in multiple locations now in Texas, largely surrounded around Dallas. We're moving into Arizona and California very soon, and Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina are coming up as well. So they're expanding rapidly. And, I think we talked about this a little bit before when we talked a year ago. One of the challenges of all this stuff, new products and stuff, is the permitting, and so
Yeah.
you've got to figure out all the jurisdictional, regulatory stuff. And you've got to have experts on staff to handle that. We all didn't necessarily have the right expertise for that stuff. We do now. And so it's accelerating and it's really exciting.
What is the speed of those chargers? Are those level two, considered level two chargers? Like,
I believe that is correct.
It sounds like they have a solar panel to charge your batteries, obviously, and but they're connected to the grid. You're saying every single unit is connected to the grid, where the cars are actually charging from the grid, or is it somehow split where it's taking the power from the sun and using your NV14K batteries, along with whenever it needs the grid to top off the car? Is
Yeah,
this how it's working?
but both really. But look, you've got to have solar panels for certain tax advantages, right? So all this thing was built to deal with both the tax environment we have and all the
Mhm.
regulatory and all that business.
I'm just making sure the batteries are integral to the whole system, meaning what are they actually used for at the end of the day? Are they charging the vehicles, or is it mostly the grid charging the vehicles?
That's why I
Mostly
was
the
asking
grid
about
charging.
capacity, because I mean, I can on one of my cars, I can pull 50 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, you're exactly right. No, the electric vehicles are being charged from the grid.
And what are the batteries doing?
The batteries running the solars, running the TV, running all the communications, there's a significant sometimes power load to make all that stuff work. So the battery system is making all that stuff work. There's a couple other devices inside the system that is running as well. So, and all of that stuff for energy efficiency purposes is all being run from direct current, okay? Not alternating current. So we're using the NeoVolta system to provide the direct current power to power all those devices and be extremely efficient.
Okay, so to clarify, basically, I initially thought it was charging the car somewhat, but it's not at all. It's basically there because there's a tax credit provided for installing solar and batteries now, so this company can use it to offset their costs. And then when people plug in their car, they're charging them a certain fee to charge the car at regular speed, at level 2 charging ability through the grid. But the reason you have batteries and solar is for that tax advantage and also to run the rest of the stuff.
Correct.
And the battery is a buffer. The battery is also a buffer. Like the battery can supply power to the chargers, to the car chargers.
It could, yes. The inverter can invert and send power back on those circuits. Yes.
Well, here's a question, just if the worst case scenario, the grid is out, can you plug it in and still charge your car through the solar and the batteries?
You could, but you got to keep in mind, I mean, you've got, 14 kilowatts is not going to, you're going to pull up in one vehicle and you're going to suck that dry in 15 minutes.
The partnership of the new people, the new guy that you have on board.
That's EOS Linx. And they hired some permitting experts that have years of history on these kind of things, all regionally, city by city throughout the country. And this new hire, has really made a big impact already. We've got lots of permits have been approved very recently since this person came on board.
I'm trying to get an idea here of the potential install base. There's 1,000 EOS Linx charging stations at various hotel chains, but it says the charging stations on site guests at the hotel, enhancing to say the parent company is one of the world's largest lodging franchises with nearly 7,000 hotels. So is there an implication there, or is that to imply that it's possible that this could be up to between 1,000 and 7,000 different locations?
Absolutely. There's more than 1,000 contracts at present, and we just got started. And so these major franchise, that's what it's talking about. They've got X number of convenience stores, X number of gas stations, X number of hotels. And if it all goes well, all those avenues get opened up. And my understanding is discussions are continue to be very fruitful.
What time frame would this happen? I mean, is this roll out in like a year, or are we looking at 5 years?
Well, NeoVolta is capable of growth if the need accelerates on their end, right? And so we are accelerating through the end of the year now. And as permitting goes and as these contracts continue to roll out, all I need is a month or two lead time, and we can meet that need. It all depends on EOS Linx and the success of their contracts and continuing to roll these things out. But so far, it's been a very good experience so far.
Even with supply chain issues now, ramping up to.
Well, that's a great topic. What supply chain issues?
You don't have any?
Right. So I don't have any. So you can either sit back and suffer and chip shortages and you can't get things.
None of that is affecting you.
Or you can blow up your balance sheet, which I chose to do. And instead of carrying a 2-month inventory, I carry a 3 or 4 month inventory on certain items. So it all depends. I mean, that's not to say I won't one day suffer any logistics or supply chain issues, but we have not to date. And I know I will not have any through the end of the year. So, what starts happening at the end of the year, I don't know, but we've been very nimble and crafty so far as to have none. I have not shipped one item late.
So your quarterly call for when you have to do those now, because it's you have to basically follow the NASDAQ rules, will be better because you won't give the excuse of COVID and supply chain issues. Is this what you're saying? Because everybody's saying that.
Literally.
Well, the lawyers make you put all those disclaimers and all the S1 filings or
forward-looking statements,
those kind of things, as a you never know what the future may hold, right? But we have not had any to date, none.